In the distant reaches of the Athenatus solar system, within the quiet void of space, a group of 50 planets united by a treaty of collaboration and shared aid exists. These worlds, viewed as inferior by the mighty empires of the cosmos, prospered through their collective strength, finding comfort and wealth in their joint resources and aligned objectives. Within this alliance, 5 planets were recognized as key members: Nox, Froscher, Thovius, Grobine, and Exlasher. Nox and Froscher, initiators of the alliance, had created a bond from the discovery of unoccupied space, where they invited others with welcoming gestures. Thovius and Grobin, abundant in resources, shared their riches freely, cultivating friendship among their peers. And then there was Exlasher, the latest to join, whose eloquent diplomats won over everyone who heard them. For ages, peace prevailed in the Athenatus system, protected from the wars that tore through distant star systems. However, under the surface of tranquility, dissatisfaction grew, fueled by rumors of disparity and unfairness. On Nox, the largest planet in the coalition, dissent fermented in the shadows of tall skyscrapers and lively markets. Despite attempts to sustain fairness, an increasing gap between the rich and the poor loomed, threatening to dismantle society's coherence. Froscher, previously a symbol of hope and cohesion, struggled with the effects of a severe natural calamity that rendered many residents without homes or means. The pressure on resources tested the generosity of even the kindest hearts, pushing the boundaries of their empathy. Thovius and Grobin, laden with their own wealth, became caught in arguments about trade pacts and the distribution of resources. As avarice eroded the resolve of their leaders, the spirit of cooperation weakened, causing fractures in the once solid unity. And there was Exlasher, whose persuasive words and sweet commitments concealed a lust for dominance that risked overwhelming them all. Privately, talk of cunning and betrayal spread rapidly, planting seeds of mistrust and doubt among the coalition's factions. As someone from the Athenatus solar system, the mysterious allure of Earth, the adjacent planet on the edge of our territory, has always fascinated me. For as long as I've lived, Earth has stayed a remote yet captivating enigma, its charm glowing like a light across the vastness of space. Earth, with its stunning vistas and plentiful resources, has consistently been the object of jealousy among the Athenatus worlds. Its verdant fields and fertile lands produce the best crops and grains, reflecting the planet's flourishing and vigor. Despite their richness, however, Earth's humans protect their assets tightly, enveloping themselves in mystery and isolation. Unlike the other planets in the Athenatus system, Earth seldom participates in our rituals and gatherings, preferring the solitude of their own domain. Their reluctance to engage with the rest of us has sparked countless rumors and speculations, with some suggesting that they are weak or fearful. But my father, a wise and seasoned elder, always cautioned against jumping to conclusions. He shared with me the story of Earth's bravery and selflessness, a tale that has been passed down through generations. It was a time of great peril for the Athenatus system, when a wormhole suddenly appeared in our midst, threatening to swallow a delegation ship from the 50 planets. Panic swept through our ranks as we grappled with the terrifying prospect of losing our comrades to the abyss. Amidst the chaos, it was the humans of Earth who emerged as our saviors, their ships darting fearlessly into the maw of the wormhole to rescue the stranded delegation. They fought valiantly against the forces of entropy, risking their own lives to ensure the safety of others. Though they succeeded in saving the delegation, Earth paid a heavy toll, losing many of their own in the process. Yet, their sacrifice did not go unnoticed. The Athenatus planets, myself included, were filled with awe and gratitude for the courage displayed by our enigmatic neighbors. From that moment on, my father said, he had harbored a deep respect for the humans of Earth. He saw beyond their quiet demeanor and recognized the strength and resilience that lay within their hearts. As I listened to my father's words, a sense of curiosity and wonder stirred within me. What other stories lay hidden beneath the surface of Earth's silence? What secrets did they guard behind their impenetrable facade? Driven by a desire to unravel the mysteries of our neighboring planet, I vowed to one day on a journey of discovery to seek out the truth that lay hidden within the depths of Earth's enigma. For in the heart of Earth's silence, perhaps lay the key to understanding not only our neighbors but ourselves as well. As the Founders Festival approached, anticipation buzzed through the Athanatis solar system like static electricity before a storm. This grand ceremony, mandated by tradition, called upon all 50 planets to send forth their delegates, including every political leader, to the sacred Isle of Dagnall. The Isle of Dagnall, nestled in the heart of Athanatis, was an uninhabited planet shrouded in mystique and reverence. It served as the hallowed ground where the legacy of the first settlers in Athanatis was honored and celebrated, a reminder of the values they espoused and the dreams they forged. For me, this Founders Festival held a special significance. My father, recently conferred with the title of elder, would be attending as one of the esteemed delegates, and as his son, I would have the privilege of accompanying him to this momentous occasion. I was ecstatic beyond words. Beyond the routine patrols across our planet, I rarely had the opportunity to interact with creatures from other worlds, except through the pages of books and holographic displays. The prospect of witnessing the diverse tapestry of Athanatis cultures firsthand filled me with an indescribable sense of wonder and excitement. As we arrived at the Isle of Dagnall, I found myself surrounded by a kaleidoscope of sights and sounds, a symphony of colors and languages that echoed through the air. Delegates from all 50 planets mingled together, their attire adorned with symbols of their respective homelands, creating a vibrant tableau of unity and diversity. Yet, amidst the throngs of revelers, one conspicuous absence weighed heavily upon my heart: the humans of Earth. Despite their proximity to our realm, they remained aloof and distant, their absence from the festival a glaring reminder of their enigmatic nature. My father noticed my crestfallen expression and offered words of comfort, explaining that it had always been this way. The humans, he said, did not fully participate in Athanatis culture, preferring instead to observe from afar, unless absolutely necessary. I nodded, trying to mask my disappointment as I immersed myself in the festivities. Despite the absence of the humans, the Founders Festival was a celebration of unity and camaraderie, a testament to the bonds that bound the 50 planets together as one. As the festivities drew to a close, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of my journey. One day, I vowed I would seize the opportunity to learn more about the humans firsthand, to unravel the mysteries that shrouded their distant world. For now, though, I would cherish the memories of this magical day, knowing that the Founders Festival was not just a celebration of the past, but a beacon of hope for the future. The Founders Festival, a celebration of unity and solidarity, descended into chaos and bloodshed in the blink of an eye. As the final speeches echoed across the Isle of Dagnall, a sense of unease gnawed at the edges of my consciousness. I noticed how some of the participants, normally jovial and relaxed, seemed tense and agitated. I leaned over to my father, whispering my concerns, but he brushed them off with a reassuring smile. "It's just your imagination, my son," he murmured, his voice tinged with a hint of amusement. "This is a day of celebration, not suspicion." But my instincts screamed otherwise, warning me of impending danger lurking just beyond the veil of festivities. And then, as if on cue, chaos erupted. Gunshots shattered the air, sending shockwaves rippling through the crowd. Panic gripped us all as we scrambled for cover, desperate to evade the hail of bullets raining down upon us. I crouched behind a crumbling stone pillar, my heart pounding in my chest as I struggled to make sense of the chaos unfolding around me. The shots originated from above, from the depths of space itself. I raised my gaze skyward, my eyes widening in horror as I beheld the unmistakable silhouette of an ex-slasher warship looming ominously in the distance. Betrayal, like a dagger to the heart, pierced through the veil of disbelief. The ex-slashers, once allies and friends, had turned against us, their treachery plunging the Founders Festival into darkness and despair. With deadly precision, they targeted the elders, the pillars of our society, felling them one by one with ruthless efficiency. And then, as if to add insult to injury, Their leader, Xylem, emerged from the shadows, his face twisted into a malevolent grin. He proclaimed their intentions with chilling clarity, declaring their ambition to seize control of the 50 planets and establish themselves as the dominant power in the galaxy. Fear and disbelief gripped me as I watched helplessly, my mind reeling from the magnitude of the betrayal. The X-Slashers rounded up the survivors, herding us like cattle, before sending us back to our respective planets with a dire warning. They were coming, and none would stand in their way. The festival, intended to be a celebration of unity and peace, lay in ruins, a testament to the fragility of our alliances and the depths of treachery that lurked within our midst. As I stumbled away from the carnage, the echoes of gunfire still ringing in my ears, I knew that the path ahead would be fraught with peril. But even in the face of overwhelming odds, I vowed to stand firm against the tide of darkness, to resist the tyranny of the X-Slashers, and fight for the freedom and survival of the Athanates solar system. For in the crucible of adversity, true heroes are forged, and the flames of rebellion burn brightest in the darkest of nights. As we returned to our respective planets, grief weighed heavy upon our hearts. The loss of our elders, including my own father, cast a shadow over the Athanates system, shattering the fragile peace we had once known. In the wake of the Founders' Festival massacre, mourning swept through our ranks like a dark tide, engulfing us in sorrow and despair. Despite our grief, we knew that we had to honor the memory of our fallen leaders. Each planet, guided by their own traditions and beliefs, organized funeral ceremonies to bid farewell to those who had been lost. For my people, the Grobans, our funeral rites involved planting the bodies of our departed into the soil, a symbolic gesture of returning them to the earth from whence they came, with the belief that they would germinate into new life in the next cycle. The funeral ceremony, solemn and somber, offered us a fleeting moment of solace amidst the chaos and uncertainty that gripped our world. But our respite was short-lived, shattered by the sudden arrival of Xylem and his forces. With a ferocity born of madness, they descended upon our planet like a storm, their weapons flashing and their banners flying high. We stood no chance against their overwhelming military might, our defenses crumbling before their onslaught. It was a massacre, swift and brutal, as Xylem's forces swept through our defenses with ruthless efficiency. Our attempts to resist were futile, our weapons no match for the advanced technology wielded by our oppressors. One by one, the 50 planets of the Athanates system fell under Xylem's iron grip, their inhabitants subdued and subjugated by force. We, the proud inhabitants of Athanates, were reduced to mere subjects, our once great alliance shattered and broken by the relentless march of tyranny. In the face of such overwhelming power, resistance seemed futile. We had no choice but to surrender to Xylem and his forces, our hopes for freedom and justice crushed beneath the heel of oppression. As we bowed our heads in submission, I couldn't help but feel a gnawing sense of fear deep within my heart. Fear of the unknown, fear of what horrors awaited us under Xylem's rule, and fear of the uncertain future that lay ahead. But amidst the darkness that threatened to consume us, a spark of defiance flickered within my soul. Though Xylem may have claimed victory for now, I knew that the fight was far from over. For as long as there remained even a glimmer of hope, the flame of resistance would continue to burn, fueled by the indomitable spirit of those who dared to defy the darkness and stand tall in the face of tyranny. As Xylem's insatiable thirst for conquest consumed him, his ambitions extended beyond the confines of the Athanates system. He sought not only to subjugate the 50 planets, but to extend his dominion to encompass the entirety of the galaxy. And so, he set his sights on Earth, the jewel of the cosmos, believing it to be the next stepping stone on his path to supremacy. With his forces marshaled and his ships primed for battle, Xylem dispatched a diplomatic envoy to Earth, masquerading under the guise of peacekeepers, seeking cooperation. As they descended upon the blue-green orb that hung in the vast expanse of space, they were met with open arms by the inhabitants of Earth, who welcomed them with the hospitality befitting of esteemed guests. The ex-slashers, with their silver tongues and honeyed words, presented their demands to the President of Earth, expecting compliance and submission. But they soon discovered that Earth was not so easily cowed. The President, a figure of authority and leadership, listened to their propositions with a steely gaze, his demeanor unwavering in the face of Xylem's threats. He acknowledged their knowledge of Athanatus politics, but made it clear that Earth had no interest in entangling itself in the conflicts of distant worlds. "We have remained neutral in the affairs of the galaxy for millennia," the President declared, his voice echoing with a quiet resolve. "We have no desire for conquest or dominion. Our focus lies solely on the betterment of our own planet and the welfare of our people." But Xylem, blinded by his own arrogance and ambition, saw Earth's neutrality as a sign of weakness, a vulnerability to be exploited for his own gain. He issued a chilling ultimatum, warning the President that if Earth did not bow to his will, he would return with the full force of his military, ready to crush any who dared to defy him. The President's patience snapped, his anger boiling to the surface like molten lava. With a voice that thundered with righteous fury, he dismissed the ex-slashers from Earth's shores, casting them out with a scornful gesture. "Go back to your master and tell him this," the President declared, his words dripping with contempt. "We will not bow to the likes of him. We will not be intimidated or coerced into submission. If he dares to bring his war to our doorstep, we will meet him with the full force of our resolve, and we will emerge victorious." With that, the ex-slashers' ships departed from Earth, their tails tucked between their legs as they retreated in the face of Earth's defiance. But as they vanished into the depths of space, a sense of foreboding lingered in the air, a portent of the storm that loomed on the horizon. For Xylem's ambitions knew no bounds, and he would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. And so, the stage was set for a clash of titans, a battle that would determine the fate of the galaxy itself. As the news of the impending battle between Earth and the ex-slashers spread like wildfire across the Athanatus system, a palpable sense of dread descended upon us all. The ex-slashers, emboldened by their recent conquests, had set their sights on Earth, their colossal battleships bearing down upon our planet with unstoppable force. I watched in awe and terror as the broadcast displayed images of the ex-slasher fleet, a formidable armada of 50 battleships, each one more massive and imposing than the last. Some were as large as half a planet, their sleek hulls bristling with weapons and defenses, a testament to the ex-slashers' military might. We, the inhabitants of Athanatus, held our breath, resigned to the grim reality that Earth stood little chance against such overwhelming odds. How could they hope to withstand the might of the ex-slasher armada? How could they possibly emerge victorious against such insurmountable odds? But then, as the ex-slasher ships drew nearer to Earth, something unexpected occurred. The ex-slasher pilots reported malfunctions in their systems, anomalies that disrupted their controls, and sent alarm bells ringing throughout their ranks. Before they could react, a blinding beam of fire erupted from the core of Earth, lancing through the void of space with deadly precision. I watched in awe and disbelief as the beam struck true, obliterating the ex-slasher ships one by one in the blaze of fiery destruction. The once mighty armada, reduced to nothing but wreckage and debris, was torn asunder before our very eyes, its formidable power no match for the fury of Earth's defense systems. Shock reverberated through the Athanatus system, as news of the ex-slasher defeat spread like wildfire. None of their ships had survived the onslaught, their vaunted military prowess shattered in an instant by the unseen forces of Earth. In the aftermath of the first clash, the human president took to the airwaves, his voice ringing with determination and resolve. He declared to the galaxy that the ex-slashers had made a grave mistake in underestimating the strength and tenacity of humanity. "They have dared to provoke us," the president proclaimed, his words echoing across the stars. "Now they will learn the true meaning of human resilience. We will not be cowed by their threats or intimidated by their might. We will stand firm against the forces of tyranny, and we will emerge victorious. With those words, a new chapter in the conflict between Earth and the X-Sloshers began. The first clash had ended in triumph for humanity, but the war was far from over. As the fires of battle continued to burn brightly in the depths of space, the stage was set for a struggle that would test the very limits of human courage and determination. But one thing was certain: Earth would not go down without a fight. And woe betide any who dared to challenge the indomitable spirit of humanity. As news of the X-Slosher defeat at the hands of humanity spread like wildfire across the galaxy, a wave of rebellion swept through the planets that had long suffered under their oppressive rule. Inspired by Earth's victory, the inhabitants of these worlds rose up against their X-Slosher overlords, determined to reclaim their freedom and independence. I, too, took up arms alongside my fellow Grobans, leading the uprising on our planet with unwavering resolve. Together, we fought tooth and nail against the X-Slasher army, pushing them back with every ounce of strength and courage we possessed. But despite our best efforts, the X-Sloshers proved to be formidable adversaries, their military prowess and advanced technology posing a formidable challenge to our fledgling rebellion. Yet, amidst the chaos and uncertainty of war, a glimmer of hope emerged on the horizon. The X-Slashers, weakened and demoralized by their defeat at the hands of Earth, were ripe for the taking. And we were not the only ones who saw this opportunity. The humans, ever resourceful and cunning, recognized the vulnerability of the X-Slashers and seized upon it with ruthless efficiency. In a daring display of strategic brilliance, they launched a series of surprise attacks across all 50 planets, catching the X-Slasher army off guard and driving them out of our territories one by one. I watched in awe as the tide of battle turned in our favor. The X-Slasher forces routed and scattered before the might of humanity. With each victory, our spirits soared, buoyed by the knowledge that freedom was within our grasp once more. But even as we jubilated in our newfound liberation, a sense of foreboding lingered in the air. We knew that the war was far from over, that the X-Slashers would not rest until they had regained their strength and launched a full-scale counterattack against us. As we celebrated our victory, we prepared for the challenges that lay ahead, knowing that the road to true freedom would be paved with blood, sweat, and tears. But with the resilience of the human spirit as our guide, we stood ready to face whatever trials awaited us, united in our determination to defend our newfound freedom at all costs. For in the crucible of conflict, true heroes are forged, and the echoes of our defiance would reverberate throughout the galaxy for generations to come. After the X-Sloshers were driven out of our territories by the humans, a sense of relief and gratitude washed over the Athanatus system. With their aid, we began the process of rebuilding our shattered communities, healing the wounds inflicted by years of oppression and tyranny. The humans, with their vast resources and technological prowess, provided invaluable assistance, helping us to lay the foundations for a brighter future. But amidst the jubilation of our newfound freedom, a shadow of doubt lingered in the hearts of some. They questioned the motives behind the humans' sudden intervention, wondering why they had waited until now to lend us their aid. Was there an ulterior motive driving their actions, or were they simply indifferent to our plight until it suited their interests? As the leader of my people, I recognize the need to address these concerns and foster trust and understanding between us and our newfound allies. In a broadcast to the entire Athanatus system, I spoke of the debt of gratitude we owed to the humans for saving us from the clutches of the X-Slashers. I urged my fellow inhabitants to put aside their doubts and suspicions and embrace the hand of friendship that the humans had extended to us in our time of need. It was then that the human president signaled his desire to address our people. With a sense of anticipation, I stepped aside, making way for him to speak. In a voice that resonated with authority and conviction, the human president recounted the story of humanity's journey to Athanatus. He spoke of their past as spacefaring gladiators, of their efforts to help planets in need, only to witness their intervention lead to unintended consequences and tragedy. It was a sobering reminder of the dangers of meddling in the affairs of others and the price of hubris. But the X-Slashers, he declared, had crossed a line that could not be ignored. Their actions had awakened the dormant spirit of humanity, igniting a fire within their hearts that could not be extinguished. Now, the humans stood ready to fight alongside us, to drive the X-slashers from our midst, and ensure that they never posed a threat to our freedom again. As the human president concluded his speech, a wave of euphoria swept through the Athanatus system. The doubts and suspicions that had clouded our minds were swept away by the tide of his words, replaced by a renewed sense of hope and determination. For the first time, we saw the humans not as distant strangers, but as comrades in arms, bound together by a common cause and a shared vision of a better future. And as we prepared to face the challenges that lay ahead, we knew that with the humans by our side, victory was within our grasp. As the battle horn sounded, a sense of urgency swept through the ranks of the human troops gathered on the battlefield. The time had come to face the X-slashers in the ultimate showdown, to fight for our very survival against overwhelming odds. But as we prepared ourselves for the coming conflict, a chilling broadcast interrupted our preparations, the voice of Xylem, dripping with malice and contempt, echoing across the void of space. He accused us of betrayal, of siding with the humans against our own kind, and vowed to show us no mercy. I watched in horror as over 1,000 X-slasher warships materialized in the vast expanse of space, a formidable armada poised to crush us beneath its heel. We stood no chance against such overwhelming firepower, and the realization of our impending doom weighed heavily upon us all, except for the humans. With a courage born of desperation and determination, they rallied to our defense, their aging warships standing as a testament to their unwavering resolve. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, they refused to back down, their spirits undimmed by the specter of death that loomed large on the horizon. Xylem, confident in his superiority, gloated at the sight of the human fleet, believing victory to be within his grasp. But he underestimated the tenacity of the human spirit, the indomitable will that refused to yield even in the face of impossible odds. And so, the battle began. The humans struck first, unleashing a devastating barrage of firepower from their planetary core, their weapons tearing through the X-slasher ranks with deadly precision. But it was not enough to stem the tide of enemy vessels that pressed relentlessly onward, their weapons blazing as they closed in on their prey. Slowly but surely, the X-slashers gained the upper hand, their superior numbers and advanced technology overwhelming the human defenses. Warships fell one by one, consumed by flames and torn asunder by enemy fire, their crews fighting valiantly to the last. As the battle raged on, fear gripped the hearts of all who watched, the distant planets of the Athanatus system bearing witness to the unfolding carnage with a sense of helplessness and despair. The humans, outnumbered and outmatched, were forced to retreat, their path to victory narrowing with each passing moment. And as Xylem closed in for the kill, his triumph seemed assured, his victory within his grasp. But in the darkest hour, when all hope seemed lost, a glimmer of light emerged from the depths of despair. For the human spirit, resilient and unyielding, refused to be extinguished, and from the ashes of defeat, a new hope arose. For the last war was not yet over, and as long as humanity drew breath, the fight would continue until victory was won or until the bitter end. As the X-slasher fleet closed in on the human defenders, their engines sputtered and faltered, betraying signs of malfunction that sent panic rippling through their ranks. Confusion reigned as the X-slashers scrambled to rectify the issue. But before they could react, a swarm of destructive bots emerged from Earth's atmosphere, descending upon the hapless ships like vengeful harbingers of doom. The X-slashers, caught off guard by the sudden onslaught, found themselves unable to repel the relentless assault of the bots, their defenses overwhelmed by the sheer ferocity of the attack. Desperate attempts to fight back proved futile as the bots attached themselves to the X-slasher ships, their payloads primed and ready to detonate at a moment's notice. And then, in a blinding flash of light, the X-slasher fleet was no more. Explosions blossomed across the void of space, as the ships were torn asunder by the destructive force of the bots' self-destruct mechanisms, leaving nothing but smoldering wreckage in their wake. As the dust settled and the echoes of battle faded into silence, a sense of disbelief washed over us all. The X-Slashers, once the scourge of the Athanatus system, had been vanquished in a single, decisive blow, their dreams of conquest shattered by the indomitable will of humanity. But one question remained unanswered. Where was Xylem? The humans wasted no time in seeking out the elusive X-Slasher leader, determined to bring him to justice for his crimes against the Athanatus system. With their superior technology and strategic prowess, they breached the defenses of Xylem's fortress world with ease, their determination unyielding in the face of whatever obstacles lay in their path. And then, at long last, they found him. Xylem, once a fearsome tyrant, now cowered before the might of humanity, his grandiose ambitions reduced to dust in the wake of his defeat. He had thought himself invincible, his planet a fortress, impregnable to all who dared challenge his authority. But in the end, it was his arrogance that proved to be his downfall, his overconfidence blinding him to the true extent of humanity's power. As the humans dragged Xylem from his hiding place, the once proud X-Slasher leader was forced to confront the reality of his defeat, his dreams of conquest shattered by the unstoppable force of human resilience. And as he was brought to justice for his crimes, a new era dawned for the Athanatus system, one marked by peace, freedom, and the enduring spirit of humanity. With the defeat of Xylem and the X-Slashers, a sense of peace descended upon the Athanatus system, like the gentle caress of a cool breeze after a long and tumultuous storm. The threat of tyranny and oppression had been vanquished, replaced by the promise of a brighter future forged through unity and resilience. In the wake of the conflict, the humans remained true to their word, providing aid and assistance to the planets of Athanatus as they went on the long road to recovery. With their expertise and resources, they helped to rebuild what had been lost, fostering a spirit of cooperation and camaraderie that transcended the boundaries of species and planets. But amidst the rebuilding efforts, whispers of dissent began to emerge. Some questioned the motives of the humans, wary of their newfound influence and power within the Athanatus system. They feared that humanity's intervention had come with strings attached, that their aid was merely a prelude to domination and control. Yet, despite these doubts, the humans remained steadfast in their commitment to the ideals of freedom and justice. They worked tirelessly alongside the inhabitants of Athanatis, earning their trust and respect through deeds rather than words. And as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, a newfound sense of unity began to take root within the Athanatus system. No longer divided by fear and suspicion, the planets of Athanatus stood united against any who would seek to threaten their newfound peace. But the echoes of the past still lingered, a reminder of the trials and tribulations that had brought them to this moment. And so, the inhabitants of Athanatis vowed to never forget the sacrifices that had been made, to honor the memory of those who had fought and died for their freedom. And as the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, illuminating the vast expanse of space with its golden glow, a new era dawned for the Athanatus system, an era marked by hope, by resilience, and by the enduring spirit of humanity. For in the crucible of conflict, they had discovered the true measure of their strength, and together they would forge a future worthy of the stars. And so, as the Athanatus system ed on this new chapter in its history, they did so with heads held high and hearts full of hope, ready to embrace whatever challenges the future may bring. For they knew that as long as they stood united, nothing could ever dim the light of their collective resolve. And thus, with a sense of optimism and determination, they set forth into the unknown, their spirits unbroken and their dreams reaching for the stars.